Well, yeah. So, well, that particular issue. So when the information was out, we had to make some findings, and then we spoke to officials at the Office of the Director of Press and Public Relations, and they were able to give us some information that this particular requirement is part of the procedures for press accreditation to access the State House, which is quite fine. It's important that some standards are put in place. But then the question that, is being asked by perhaps, a lot of people, perhaps including the presidency, is to us quite simplistic. I mean, is it normal that journalists are screened before they get accreditation? We know that this happens in some countries, but very few countries, a matter of fact. But it doesn't also mean that if it happens in America, it should happen in the Gambia, because the context is different. But we are looking beyond the question of whether it is normal. We are also looking to answer the question of whether it will put in place any unnecessary barriers to journalists accessing this presidency. Because the presidency is the highest office in the country. It is an office of interest to the public. If it is an office of interest to the public, it is an office of interest to the journalist, and the journalists have a right to go there, gather news, and give it to the people to tell them what the president is doing in their name and on their behalf. So in order to do that, they must access, the presidency. So the issue of accreditation is an institutional arrangement which must be balanced quite well with the freedom that the journalists should have to gather news there. So that question to us is very important. Will it put in place unnecessary barriers to journalists accessing the presidency? And the second question is, this new procedure, will it in any way be used by anyone, anywhere, to sort out certain people that the state may see as critical of them? So that should be very clear, you understand? Because when you bring institutions like the NIA into our business, then you complicate matters a little bit for us. And the third question, which is very important, is that will it in any way compromise or endanger the safety and security of journalists? We have to bear in mind that we have emerged from a very difficult past, where the state agencies such as the NIA were used to brutalize the journalists. And it's the same institution that you are telling us now we should go there to be screened, when that particular institution, as far as we are concerned, hasn't gone through all the necessary kind of reforms that they should go through. So will going to the NIA, this NIA, to be screened there, will it endanger my safety and my security as a journalist when I go there? So these are fundamental questions that we should ask ourselves, and then these are fundamental questions that we will raise when we sit with the Office of the Director of Press and Public Relations to find answers to them, so that we know better, so that we will be in a position to effectively advise, or to more judiciously advise the media professionals in the country. Well, let us first of all say that the Office of the Director of Press and Public Relations is under no obligation to contact the GPU to be able to do this. But then we do know that it will be highly desirous if they do that. If they contact us so that we can support them in this, that will be highly desirous, because we know the people that they are working with more than anyone. The media professionals are our constituency. So if you want to come up with measures like this, it is very important that you contact the body that is working around, the issues of media professionals in the country. Of course, they are under no obligation. The law doesn't oblige them to do that. They can do it without, but it's very desirous, especially, given the working relationship that should there be between the media and the government. It would have been highly commendable if they had done that. And that is one of the proposals that we are going to make before them. Why not we, instead of the NIA, why not we create a committee that will vet the applications, and the GPU will sit on that committee. So that's one of the recommendations that we intend to push through, and hopefully we will be able to get something positive. But I must actually say that those that are working at the Office of the President, from the Director of Press, Public Relations, to the senior communication, to all the media officers there, I know them and I worked with them. And I know that these are people that love journalism. And I know press freedom matters to them. And I know that they wouldn't do anything intentionally to hurt the media or to hurt journalism. Intentionally. I believe that the measure that they are trying to put in place, they genuinely believe that it's the right thing. But when we are doing things like this, we are not just judged by intentions. We are also judged by whether we answer satisfactorily all the questions, whether we are doing the right thing. You might have good intentions to do something, but maybe what you're doing is not right. And that is where everyone comes in. We should all come in and support them in what they're doing. Well, that's the message that we sent out, that no one should go to be screened by NIA for now, until we know better. That's the message that we have. And we are going to engage the Office of the Director of Press. Of course, you might have journalists who will say, okay, why not? I'm going to go. If you go alone, that's fine. But, it's important as journalists. We promote solidarity amongst us. That was what kept us together, alive. Otherwise we would all have been wiped out by the difficult regime that we came out of. So the message to all the media professionals is, let us wait. Let's not be in a rush. We can crush ourselves if we rush. Let us wait. Let us talk to them and know the finer details of this screening procedure before we do anything. And I think that's very important, because it speaks to our safety, to the safety of every journalist. Because at the end of the day, if you go through the screening and anything happens to you, then you become a concern for all of us. Well, we are, for now, saying that the screening is a non-starter, and no journalist should go there to be screened. No, journalists are citizens. And security is very important for every citizen. Matter of fact, journalism thrives better in a country or in a society where there is very good security systems, where there is rule of law. So security issues matter to journalists quite well. So there is nothing that journalists are actually hiding. In fact, it's very important that the country has security. There is no question about that. But they are not hiding anything. The only thing that they are concerned about is that we do know that journalists are targets for attacks everywhere in the world, not just in the Gambia. And most of these attacks come from the state. And the agency mainly is the security. So we've been mindful. No, I said that I would want to give a benefit of the doubt to the people at the State House, to the people at the Office of the President. To be quite honest with you, I trust them. I've worked with all of them there. I've worked with them and I know them. And I know that they wouldn't intentionally do anything that will hurt us. But then, it is a question of, even if we trust them, I mean, it's a question of the system. You understand? And also remember, nothing is permanent. It could be, I mean, Bojang Sissoho today, who is there, and she put in place this kind of system. When Ami Bojang leaves, someone can come and abuse that system. So it's not just about a question of now and now. It is also about not doing anything that will come to haunt you later. So that's why we want to be careful. We want to be very careful. So you see, it is very important when there is an issue, you look at the issue, you map all the stakeholders involved, and you consult them quite enough. That, usually addresses a lot of fears, a lot of paranoia, a lot of misunderstanding. Had it been that there was enough consultation on this matter, perhaps we wouldn't have been in the situation that we are in today. So whether it is the media people, or whether it is the government, or whether it is the civil society, consultation is important. So let us consult, and let us consult.